Hello, hello. Welcome back to another session on Victorious Human with me, Violet or Auntie Violet. Thank you once again for joining me as we are going to be looking at this topic, the brain. Wow, why did I choose to look at the brain? Because I can hear the topic of mental health. And on that note, I'm going to be looking at so many topics in mental health, depression. What is depression? How can you identify it? And what kind of treatment one gets? But I'm not going to be touching on it in this video. I'll touch on it in another video. By God's grace, I'll also look at anxiety and many things to do with the brain because I have noticed that it's all happening in the brain. It's all happening in the brain. Everything around me can be perfect, but if my brain tells me it's not, then things are not going to go well. I could be completely healthy, but if my brain tells me that I'm sick, then I'm going to be sick, even though I'm healthy. So I just wanted to just start on a scientific topic, the brain, just in general. What exactly is the brain? So thanks to AI, I'm going to use AI. I didn't actually research this one myself. I just typed into the AI app and it brought it up for me. So I'll read it for you. It will tell you what the brain is. It says, the brain is the central organ of the nervous system and is responsible for controlling and coordinating all of the body's function. Can you imagine the brain? It controls and coordinates all of the body's function. That's why you find if you have an accident and you are deemed brain dead, then you are dead. They will let you go. But if you have an accident and you get disabled everywhere else, but your brain is still functional, they'll keep you alive because it is the brain that is controlling and coordinating all your body's functions. But it can go wrong, something can go wrong with the brain. But let me not jump the gun. It's just to let you know you need to look after your brain. Do all you can. Eat right, drink fluids, pray, meditate, read, exercise, mental activities. Do all you can to protect your brain and don't play stupid games that will cause unnecessary trauma to your head because that is where your brain is in your skull. Even though it's protected by cerebral spinal fluid, it still needs you to be sensible. I'm not saying you carry it around like an egg, but you still need to be sensible in how you go about. You're not going to be taking a stick, beating yourself in the head for fun. No, no, no. Anyway, it goes on to say the brain is composed of about 100 billion neurons or nerve cells which communicate with one another through electrical and chemical signals. If I'm not mistaken, I was also reading another book that says we've got over 100 terabyte of data storage in our brain. I was like, wow, terabyte. 1 terabyte is impressive, but over 100, I was like, wow. So what's my excuse of forgetting? What's my excuse for not being able to learn all the languages I want to learn or all the things I want to learn? What's my excuse? It's not knowing the capacity of my brain, not knowing the ability of my brain. That's why you find some people say they speak 10 languages. It's so easy for them because they have found that place where they can learn. I'm trying to think of the word. um um oh my days. Okay, I'll just simplify. I'll just say I can't think of the word. Okay, they've honed in on the capacity of the brain, and they're making the most of their brain. They're making the most. That's not the word, but I'll go with it. They're making the most of their God-given brain, and it's not too late, even for you, even for me, to make the most of our God-given brain. My days, and they say the brain never stops learning. It never stops growing. These neurons we just read about, they keep on, keep on, keep on. Now these days they're talking about neuroscience, telling us that we will keep on learning, we'll keep on learning. We can even retrain the brain. So you can't say you cannot teach an old dog new tricks. Mind you, you're not a dog, you are a human. So stop using that saying. You can be taught new tricks if you are willing. The reason why we don't do it is because it's hard, but it can be done. It's going to be time consuming, it's going to be tasking, but it can be done only if you are willing. It goes on to say, or shall I read it again? Okay, I'll go back so that we know where we were. The brain is composed of about 100 billion neurons or nerve cells which communicate with one another through electrical and chemical signals. The brain can be divided into several regions, each of which has a specific function. The cerebrum, which is the largest part of the brain is responsible for conscious thoughts and voluntary movement. Thank God for voluntary movement. Life would be awfully hard if I had to think about everything. So thank God for voluntary movement. Oh, sorry, I'm thinking of involuntary movement. So, voluntary movement. Life would also be equally hard if I could not control my movements. Yeah. So, thank God for both voluntary and involuntary movements. It is divided into two hemispheres, the left and the right, which are what? Surrounded by a thick bundle of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. The brainstem, which connects the brain to the spinal cord, your spinal cord, did you know that? Controls essential functions such as breathing. My days. Your brain helps you to breathe. Simple breathing in and out, fresh air. Your heart rate, for your heart to be pumping, pumping, pumping. Your blood pressure. Wow, wow, wow. So many things. The cerebellum, located at the back of the brain, is responsible for coordinating movement and balance. My days, the brain is a busy, busy bee. The brain also contains several specialized structures, such as hippocampus, which is involved in memory formation, and the amygdala, which plays a role in emotion and fear. It's all happening where? In the brain. Overall, the brain is an incredibly complex organ that plays a vital role in our ability to think, feel, and interact with the world around us. And I was looking at the other things I'd written, if I can still find it, because I wrote it some time back. It's all on the brain as well, apart from the thinking. Oh, I want to say too much because I know I've got a tendency of going on and on, but I want to do that. I'm about to stop. So because of your brain, you can think, you can imagine, you can remember things, you can feel things, you can sense things, you can perceive things. It shapes your belief, your desire, your intention, your emotions. So you need to watch what you are feeding your brain, because all these things, some of these things, innate. You are born with them. You are born with this ability to feel, ability to sense. There are some people who don't have it, but most people are born with that ability. And then things like belief, perception, those things are shaped by your society, by your parents, by the school you went to, by the subjects you learned in school. So it is important to learn the right things so that you become a better version of who you are, because your brain never stops working for you. It is a faithful servant. It will work and work for you. So why not you in turn work and work for it to keep it what? Healthy. On that note, I will have a drink of water to keep myself well hydrated. Anyway, that is all from me for now. Remain blessed and continue to be victorious.